There you go. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Fireside Chat with the boys. Colin is presently rebooting his system, so he will be popping in there in just a minute. But you know what? Bodine 52 is here. What else do you need, right, Bob? Right?
I would have came up with some bullcrap story about Colin not being here, but you are the Godfather, so I understand plain and straight how to come up with something. But
like Colin had to poo, he had to run a poo.
Yeah, something like that. That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking. Yes. Yes.
Evening, everybody.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody in the chat room. Bob, do you want to read them off? You want me to go through them?
Well, Bry says who needs him anyway, so I figure if he doesn't show up in 5 minutes, Bry, you're up to bat, buddy.
There you go.
Yeah, Jim Wilson's in, the Grim Rider, a local guy, hey, buddy. HD Tricaholic, of course, Bry, Mr. Nelson's in, HD Traveler, and now the man.
Why'd you guys start without me?
You know what? I told Jack we should wait, and he said, "Screw him if he can't be on time."
Jack, I was on time. I had technical difficulties.
That's what I told him, dude. But he's like, "We're going,
hurtful, man.
We're going."
We knew you were coming, but people
I'm going
expected
to mute you on the next one.
I know. I'm sorry.
Ty's in the house. Tennessee Wingman, Rocky, Smyrna Cowboy is in. Dona, Maine. God, do we ever say that right? I got to write that down. He's a good guy, and he's always here, and we never get his name right. You guys not helping with that, are you?
No, we're going to let you struggle.
Thanks, brothers.
Oh, Dona, Maine.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You're doing a fine job.
I'm screwing it up. You're right. Hey, Dusty. Hey, Ron. So group is coming in fast, Mr. HDR.
Dona, please tell us if we're right or wrong on that pronunciation.
Yeah. So
we don't have to do this every week.
Well, 2 weeks from now, we'll forget it again. But
this is true.
You know that.
I know I've been working because I've been trying to figure out how to take live calls. I think that would be another depth to any live stream. And I had a piece of software I loaded up, and I don't know. Guys, I do this for a living, but every time I would load it up, it'd come up and say, no fonts loaded. I'm like, but it's audio software. It made no sense.
Nothing good could come out of that. I could see us having fun with that. Live calls.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, your live stream HDR that you're doing on the bike with no audio, is that a new strategy that you're doing? That's just
you know what I did was I thought the Senna connected to the phone would broadcast the audio, but there was no way to switch microphones, and it's kind of weird. So, but no, I was trying to get audio, and I was just playing around and seeing if people could hear me. But it's a funny video. It's like a silent film. You know, remember the old silent film? Well, you guys. Well, Bob does. He's the same age as I am.
No, I'm not that much younger.
I'm younger, just to clarify.
Yeah, by what? A week.
So months. Dona, Maine.
We got it right. Yeah, he said we were pronouncing it right. I think I'm 20 years younger than you guys?
At least. At least.
Don't kid yourself, buddy. You're a stone's throw away.
Yeah, I think I'm 5 years away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but just remember this: when we both retire and we're like riding around together, you're like, "Man, I want to go." You'll still be working. You know, think of that.
I don't have a comeback to that.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe you have a better plan than we have. Maybe you have early retirement. I don't know.
That's my goal, buddy.
I talked to a guy the other day. He retired at like 50. I'm like, how did you do that? You know, but he said he made all the right choices. So
I made all the wrong choices.
Booze and motorcycles makes you work forever.
Just does not work.
Yeah. Vehicles and motorcycles. Yeah, you're right.
So, Jack, what are we discussing tonight?
Yeah, what's up, Mr. Custom Dynamic?
You're in charge.
Hey, you see that sign back here? Look. Bob, you're still waiting on stuff, aren't you? You got some new stuff coming.
I do have some stuff. You know what? That's while you're figuring out what's next. I'll tell you what. That is one of the things that I love about Custom Dynamics. Getting a couple new products, but they're about a month away from upgrading a couple things in their product line, and so I'm gonna be waiting to get that, which is kind of cool. They don't stand still. So I still don't have a sign, but they're doing a good job.
Well, I can't wait to see how they upgrade the one lights that you talked about, how they're changing them from the ones I received. It's like,
yep.
how can you make a great product better? And that's what they keep doing over and over and over. So
Put the Bodine 52 insignia in it, would work.
Yeah, well,
Jack,
hey, that
you've
logo.
already got their sign. You don't need to kiss their ass anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
You're good.
That's true. That's true. I don't need to call Karen and be all begging and stuff, right?
Be the riders in. Good group. Motor Ramblings. Was it just not your birthday the other day? Did I get?
I believe it was. I saw that it was his birthday.
Jack, can you sing? No, we better not. We want people to stay.
Wait. What was that? What was that girl? Remember? Happy birthday,
Marilyn
Monroe. That girl
with that dress blown up around her thighs. That was the greatest. Yeah. Too bad she wasn't cute, but hey, what do you know?
Hey, cranky old guy.
I guess when you're president, you have the Oval Office. Everything looks good, right? So.
I know I'll probably get canceled for this, but there's this thing up at National Harbor. I guess that's by me. And when you're up there with Boots and Jeans Riders, they've got this statue of Marilyn Monroe with her dress flying up. I so bad wanted to stick a camera under there just to see, but I didn't.
Do you think it's anatomically correct?
Probably not. It's a piece of cement.
Probably not. Probably.
I like to apologize to half the folks that are in the chat tonight.
I can say a lot of things about cement, being smooth. Let's move on. Okay, so what you guys drinking tonight anyway? I'm drinking Black and Tan, man, from Yingling. So
the beer of champions.
Coors Light.
You know what I'm drinking tonight? Something black. Coffee.
Black coffee. There you go.
Yeah, I'm actually going out afterwards, so
You'll be boring tonight. You gotta drink.
Yeah, I gotta hold back on the drinking tonight.
Hey, Colin, we got the same shirt on, man.
Well, I called you earlier.
I know.
I don't have that. I don't have that little insignia. What's that say right below yours?
It says, "I got mine at," and on the back of it says, "Still City."
Is this a way for us to touch ourselves?
Yeah. So I'm going to help us move on. So Smyrna Cowboy asked how hunting went. And I almost got in a altercation with people that were shooting shotguns off in the woods. But other than that, it was pretty good. Hell's on Two Wheels is here. Ricky's here. Ricky just back from vacation. Jury, Riverwalk Baggers. We got a good group, Mr. HDR.
There is a good group in there tonight. We appreciate everybody in the chat room coming in. We do have a couple. They're not really questions. These are more discussion topics. I talked to the guys before the show, and Bob said he wasn't quite sure of some of these, but we'll try to egg him on to see if we can get something out of him with this conversation going on here. So the first one, I'll just bring it up here, and you guys in the comments can give me your thoughts at the same time. But, I'm looking for basically your thoughts on the new Sportster S. Sportster S, Colin.
Oh, am I first?
Yes.
Bob, you go. I'm typing. Did you like how I deflected on that one?
Dude, you're a master. You are a master.
Delegation, buddy.
Delegation.
Yeah, I'll do that while you guys are getting it together. You know what? Jack honestly did not look at the Sportster S at all. I know it's out. I know it's new, but dude, I'm a big bagger guy and an old Road King guy. So it just doesn't, not something that I have any interest in, to be honest with you. So big
bagger guy. Like you'd call yourself like a sack guy.
So pass.
I'm a bagger man.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it back until Colin's ready. So
I'm ready. I can go.
Okay, go now.
I'll give them credit. They're trying different things. Take that off full screen right now.
But you're so cute.
I forgot to shave too. They're trying new things, and I'm glad they put the engine that they did, the Revolution. So I'm glad they did that. I know it's a little bit more toned down than the Pan Am one. So it's silly fast. I'm not a fan of the pipe look, but I know that's growing on some people, the two pipes that seem like they're right by your ass. So I'm not too sure about that, but I haven't had a chance to ride it. I know the one they got in for our dealers gone. like that. So I'd love to take it out for a spin, because looking at some of the videos, it's definitely got some power to it. It's different. So but I'm like Bob. I'm more of the, I like the baggers.
So what's the market for the Sportster S?
I believe it's the younger market. They're always shooting for the younger market, right? They don't really care about us old guys anymore, because they know it's not that they don't care about us old guys. They know that they have that bagger line there, and they know that's what we want. So if you have the cash, you walk in, you buy one, but
there's a gentleman that's up, not as old as we are, but pretty close. And he's in the side chat, and he just picked up one, I believe, Ty from Tennessee. So congratulations on that. I know he's pretty excited. He told me that earlier this week that he picked up one. You said it's on the way. So that's awesome, Ty. Good luck with that.
Yeah. So my take on it originally was, I thought it looked like a lot like the Pan America. It was like its baby sister, or maybe. People told me I was crazy, but I guess because it's got that 1250 engine in it. The other thing, the hand controls are basically the same, Colin, I believe, is what you have. Yeah, I think that's all the same thing there, but it doesn't have the beautiful screen that you have. And I understand the Pan America has the best looking LED screen of any Harley Davidson, so that's a great thing. It's got that little round gauge, kind of digital gauge, but
yeah, I mean, it's to each its own. I mean, like, again, I'm going to give him credit for at least thinking outside the box and trying some different things. I think a lot more people are interested in the Bronx that they took away. What was that, last year? They don't know if they're going to bring that back or not, but a lot of people like that bike versus like compared to this one. But I'll be the first to admit I'd love to take a spin on it.
You know what it makes me think of as Orvis 128 just pops in? Hey, brother. I think of Orvis when I think about the Sportster S, right?
I do.
Maybe he would ride, not us, old guys with big baggers. Or some people talked about Jack a second bike, right?
Yeah, I just recently did a video. I don't know when it was. I've been trying to get some videos together here, and I talked about Orvis, and he put a lot of miles on his Sportster. Like, I couldn't do it. I mean, I'm just like Bob. Obviously, you said, I think it's age. Maybe, I don't know. Is there any old guys out there that ride Sportsters that can ride 500-600 miles on them?
All right, Jack. Let me ask you this. So I know it's not the same bike, but it's similar size, if I'm not mistaken. What about your Royal Enfield that you were so into? Whereas I looked at that more as a younger bike, but you almost pulled the trigger on that one.
So the Royal Enfield, you're right, and it was going to be for like an around town bike. To me, I think that's the nomenclature of a Sportster. Is local bike. You're going to go to the bike nights or something in town, or something to ride around. Maybe a work bike, a commuter. Yeah, and you're right. I was really, really close on pulling. All I had to do was sign the paper. I mean, we had everything done. The loan was done. They were really bummed out when I said, well, here's what happened. I took Miss H and she goes, did you guys ever see a comedy skit where the guy, who was it? He said, big man in little coat. Did you ever see that? Was that on Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? And then he rips that jacket in half. Mary's Miss HR said that. She said, you look like the big guy in the little coat. She goes, you're not right on that bike.
We're in 15 minutes and you're already singing, dude. That's pretty good.
I know.
I also like to give you credit for the 4-syllable word nomenclature.
How about that nomenclature?
Yeah, that was a big word.
I know.
Proud of
you. It's this whole college thing, Colin. You start back in college and all of a sudden you're starting to use these words again. It's like, why? Why do they need me in school?
I said something to someone the other day. I said verisimilitude. I haven't said that word in like 20 years. And they're like, what the hell did you just say? I said, well, it means to be truthful. They're like, why didn't you just say that then? I'm like, good point.
That's like one of my kids said. They said, what's the worst thing about college? And I said, typing papers in college format. He said, what do you mean? I said, they have to be written a certain way. So he said, why? I said, because you pay them big money to make you write it a certain way. So I don't know. That's just the way it works.
I think they'll be successful.
Can everybody in the comments give us one big word, please, that we could use in future videos and live streams? So what is your one big word that you use? Because I'm starting to see people
supercalifragilistic.
Yeah, it's until you have to spell it, right? Until you have to spell that. But yeah, I think it's going to be successful. I mean, they have one at a local Harley shop, and I was out the other day riding, and I was going to go there, and I thought, I don't get many opportunities to go out and ride. You guys know how that is, right? So like Bob just wants to go out and ride to hell, and he don't want to go to a Harley shop and demo ride something. He just wants to go ride to hell. And
No, I do. I've never went on a demo ride.
Yeah, I don't understand.
You haven't?
That. You've never went to a Harley shop and demoed a bike?
And I know they're great videos, so I've just never been on a demo ride.
Wow. Like, because
I
you
would
can
have
go to
never
a Harley
known
shop and demo whatever you want,
I know. I need to do that. That's my goal for next year. Who needs all that other stuff?
In West Virginia?
No, it's going to be demo bikes. That's what I'm going to do next year.
Well, yeah, and in West Virginia, it's better than Pennsylvania because remember, Bob, when you bought your bike, how the guy went with you, you followed him around.
Yeah.
In West Virginia, they just give you the bike and they say, hey, enjoy yourself. They put a tank of gas on and tell you come back when you come back.
Hey, Colin, we're getting some good ones.
We got some really big words.
Yeah. Persickening.
Parsimonious. Ooh, we almost got a 5-syllable one in there.
What do we got here, guy? Man, we got intelligent folks that are our friends.
Googly moogly.
Yeah, but now we want the definitions to those words. Just because you know the word, you know what it means.
Yeah, we better take a snapshot of this so we can say them again next week.
What the hell is catawampus? It's catawampus. I don't even know what that is. No, what is catawampus?
I got no idea, dude. I got no idea.
Man. Oh my goodness. That's funny.
Well, thank you for everybody for that feedback. I'm learning some stuff tonight. This is all about the vocabulary. So yes, Ricky KM just off a bit. Yes, we are. We've always been off a little bit. So Ricky just got back from Italy, by the way. He's got some cool videos, so check his channel out.
Oh man, that's cool.
He didn't invite me. He didn't tell me he was going, anything like that.
And Ricky's the one that rode with you about a month ago, right?
That's right.
Michigan.
That's right. We rode a couple times. Good guy.
You can see the impression that you made on the poor guy. It was like me riding with Bob. I rode with him, and 2 months later, it's like, yeah, we're moving to Michigan, dude. Screw you.
Yeah, but I like him, and I'm going to stay here.
Yeah, but he doesn't like you. He went over to Italy, and he didn't even tell you he was leaving. He's like,
That's a good point.
Hey, look, now they're using them in sentences, the words.
Oh, that's better.
Look at AB. Hippopotamus riga. Really, dude? I almost want to look that up.
The cow jumped over the fence.
Wasn't Serendipity was the movie.
That was a good movie.
And you folks thought you were coming for entertainment. We just really wanted to get some more words for our vocabulary tonight. So
educate all you guys tonight.
Thank you.
That is not even a word. Can you guys pronounce that?
I think Anonymous Biker USA is screwing with us. He does it all the time. So I'm just because he knows we're going to go look. After this is over, we're all going to go to Google and look quickly.
Hold on, I'm going to do it now.
There you go. Here, I'll leave it up. Or you tell me what. Oh, you can get out of the chat room. Don't test drive my last 2 trucks. My last 2 bikes didn't test drive them.
So what else we got, HDR? What else is happening?
Well, let's see here. Let's see what else is coming up here. And we always talk about this, and I don't like to call them young riders because I truly believe young riders cannot afford a motorcycle for the most part, unless you're Orvis 128. Then you can buy whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
But he's pretty much he's a young established person. You don't find it every day. I know my personal kids, they would like to ride, but they can't. They got their own kids right now, and they can't afford to go buy a motorcycle. But how is Harley Davidson attracting new riders? So what would somebody riding a Honda Goldwing right now go, man, I'm going to drop this piece of shit because I want to go over and ride myself a Road Glide. I think that's an awesome motorcycle. What are they doing to attract those new riders?
Colin?
Bob, can you go first? I got to check something.
Yeah.
Do you like how I delegated that again?
Yeah, you might as well just change the blocks because he's going to do this all night. So we can just go ahead and change here. So thank you. So, you know what, Jack, I know we talk about this like until we're nauseated about it, right? I think the sports dress is stuff, but I still believe from a business perspective, Harley is still going after those folks that have the income to buy the big bikes that make the most profit. I just still believe that. Now, at some point, we're going to age out, right? We're all going to not be able to hold it up. We're going to have to buy their trikes or anything else. So they got to keep going. That's why I think they got the Pan America. And by the way, a couple people have asked about Colin's Pan America. He's going to talk about that in a couple questions, just so everybody knows. We'll get his experience and how deep actually is the creek when you fall in it off the bike. So he's going to tell us all about that. But you know, Jack, I don't know. I think that if you look at their marketing plan and what they're doing, I mean, that's kind of the plan is let's try to get one or two things. Let's get rid of the lines we don't make money on. They are a for-profit business. And those people that can afford the $30,000 bikes, let's get them to buy one and then buy another one and then buy another one and then buy another one. So just my take.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying from a business standpoint. He's trying to streamline inventory. He's trying to cut expenses, and they've already done all that. Yoke and Zeitz has, and they're going to continue to do that. He's still sticking to his 70-20-10 model, I think it was, where if I remember this, I think 20% is like more innovation, and then 10% is more like electric. And then 70%, I think, is existing products, but sometimes it doesn't seem that way. Sometimes it seems like it's more 30-30-30, where they're focusing less per se on the existing market or the existing demographic. I think they're trying to go a little bit younger. But at the end of the day, the dude's trying to turn the company around and make a profit through inventory control and through different aspects like that. What did they do? The certified used, they started that last year program, and that's a moneymaker for them. And then especially now when you go into Harley, and then 95% of their bikes are used due to the shipping issues. Everything's on back order right now, so they're making some money on that. And I don't know if you guys have been watching like their performance for the last 6 months to a year. It's improving. It is.
You know, Colin, just to add what you're saying, and you and Jack knows this too, and you and I have talked about this. Anytime you're going into a business that's not doing well, right? And let's not kid ourselves, Harley wasn't doing well. The idea is to build a long-term sustainable business while you're making the profits on the way, right? Otherwise, you're building a business for somebody that's going to replace you if you're not getting it done. I think that's what he's doing. I think his strategy is long-term.
It is.
He's also trying to make some moves now to turn the profit around for the company so he can drive that long-term strategy. That's just my take.
We got all business-like.
All businessy. And by the way, Orvis called us old, just to clarify. He says, Harley knows they make the most money on old people. And we love him like a son, and he's calling us old.
Well, that's where they have their biggest margins.
Yeah.
Are the baggers.
Yep, no doubt.
By far.
Yeah, now here's a question for me. So, I guess I could take the final stab at this and you guys are both business people. I mean, I've owned a business in the past, and my entire business model was be lower than all my competitors because I'm going to take all your business. And I did that. I successfully did that. We started an internet business. There was one other guy that was trying to grab customers. And it was weird. He was charging $25 a month. I charged $19.50 a month. So it's not quite 20. And I put a full ad in the newspaper at the time, and we took all of his market. So do you think Harley coming off of the high horse, look, we don't want to make, $20,000 on every motorcycle. Maybe we'll just make 5 for now. Lower the price, flood the market with their motorcycles, and then kill us on maintenance. Is that a good business model?
You know what, Jack? You could get Colin and I rolling, so we'll probably try not to do that.
Well, that's good because we got a lot of time.
There's two ways. I mean, you can drive down to get volume and market share, right? Which is kind of what you talk about doing, or you can ultimately sell value, right? Which is you should pay me more, and Harley's done a pretty good job at that, to buy my bike than you should anybody else's. So it's just a business strategy on, do you want to be that guy that goes $19.95, or do you want to tell him you should spend $30,000 and here's all the reasons why, right?
Yeah, but
I think the strategy changes over the decades.
But look at the reverse of that. People spend $30,000 and then their bikes are. Look on Facebook. Their pipes are falling off. This is rusting. This is not tightened. This didn't work right. My clutch shift fell off. Is that quality? Or is that just the brand? You're paying me for the brand name.
I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree that that's just a Harley, that all those things happen with Harleys. I've had Harleys and not had that problem, but I think that's why people ride Goldwings, right? Because they got everything in one bike, or other bikes than Harley,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you could be right. I haven't had a Harley bike long enough, Jack, to see all the things that you're talking about. So maybe that's true. I don't know.
Well, I just kind of watch the Facebook groups. Go ahead, Colin.
I mean, I look at it this way. I also look at, Harley needed somebody. I mean, whether you like him or you don't, Jochen Zeitz. Yes, he doesn't have a background in necessarily motorcycles, but he has a background in turning around companies, and he actually has a background in being a visionary. And honestly, that's what Harley needs. You kind of have to be a visionary as a CEO. And it's short term right now. Everybody's looking at the short term. Long term, I honestly will say that he will turn around the company. I do. I read a lot about this guy, and he's actually pretty freaking brilliant. The way he does some things, and a lot of people like Joe Blow, when they just read common articles, they're not going to see kind of like the long-term strategy, and that's what I'm looking at is like Bob said, what's it going to be like in 5 years from now? And I see positive things coming out. I mean, I do. I mean, I've already seen some things, even though people say that this came from the previous CEO, like the Pan America, but like for even them to get into that adventure style, or even like the Sportster S, and they're evolving, and I'll give them credit for that. Do they piss off a lot of people because they don't focus? They're a corporation and they focus on the almighty dollar? Yeah. But at the same time, what company is it? We live in a capitalistic society, and that's reality, right? So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Like I said, you two guys are business guys, and I've been out of business for many, many, many years because I don't, and I've never, and Bob, just to your fact that we were not a shit-faced internet service. We were a quality internet service. We weren't low cost. We weren't Kmart. We were a quality internet service, but the way to attract the customers I wanted, because basically I knew the other guy and I was going to shut him down. So I went at it with the Walmart mentality. Come into town, low prices on everything. All the mom and pop shops are gone. And then we're going to raise their prices through the roof. And you're just stuck with us now because nobody else is going to compete.
That strategy is good many times. And if you can lower the price and have the value, you can kill it.
Yep.
And there's times, like in the business I'm in, that we may take lower margin work because we want to drive the market, or to your point, kill a competitor, right?
Yes.
So it's all timing. It's about your business. You probably did the right thing,
And that's exactly what I explained to Mike, because we had business partners, right? We had stock. We had the whole company was an LLC. And I said, look, guys, this is the way it works. Yeah, it's going to take us 10 customers to pay for, our back end bandwidth instead of 5 customers. But we got double the business now, right? So if you lose 5 customers, guess what? You still are maintaining the 5 that you need to keep the back end servers running, right? So that worked out. And I look at Indian and people go, oh, Indian, oh, that's the place to go. Their bikes are usually either on par or more expensive than Harley. So India's not going to attract anybody over unless you want an Indian head on your fender, or if you're Mrs. HDR, maybe that's the person they're looking for,
Or you got a screen, or you got a screensaver with one on it, then you got to, right?
Somewhere, one of these screens.
Hey, Jack, let me ask you a question, because if you're looking through all the comments, you see a lot of people that talk about, hey, don't get me started about Harleys and how they break down or they leak oil. Or how do people come up with that opinion? Is that a personal opinion of somebody that's had a Harley 3 or 4 years, and I'm not talking about that one comment, or is it I see a bunch of people online that talk about how great the Indian is, or how does somebody formulate that opinion? Now, in fairness, I only ride Harleys, so I probably have blinders, right? There's maybe a better bike, but just curious for everybody, how do you come up with that? Is it because you've had a Harley and it's been a piece of crap, so they're all pieces of crap? I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense or not, if I'm articulating that right.
It does
What do
make a
you-
lot of sense, and I get tired of hearing that too. Like, oh, Harley's leak oil. Dudes, I don't have the only oil I have on my carpet. If you look in my garage, is crap that I spilt there, changing my own oil. Because you pull that oil filter off, and that crap goes everywhere. Even you have the bucket under there and everything. But I'm with you, Bob. I don't agree with that. That's the hype. That's when, what was it? AMF used to own Harley. They bought them for a few years. And come on, guys, they were a bowling ball company. They're not the company that creates motorcycles. And they were driving it into the ground. That's why the Harley family bought it back. So
all bikes
what's your
break
take on that,
down.
Colin? Go ahead.
All bikes break down.
They're mechanical devices.
They're mechanical. I think Anonymous Biker, you just said that all bikes are mechanical.
Yeah.
So he's dead on. So no matter what manufacturer, you hear more about it at Harley because they've got the biggest market share.
There's more Harleys on the road.
And then there's you're going to see that with any vehicle too. You're going to have your passionate people, Ford, Dodge, Chevy, anything like that, similar discussions. So, I mean,
And hey, maybe it's because we got blinders, guys, right?
And maybe we do.
I've always been a Harley guy, so these guys that talk about the Indian or any other bike, maybe they're right. I just don't know. That's why
I haven't had any issues. I remember, there's some of our friends. McKaylee 7 had a huge issue with his when he had his M8. He got a stage 4 and he had nothing but problems. I have a stage 3. I haven't had one. There was a sumping issue. When you go online to the forum, it's not as bad as anymore, but a year ago, it's like every other post was about sumping. And I'm just
and that wasn't 17 and 18 models, though,
yeah,
right?
I think that was 17, 18. But okay, it might have been 5% of the bikes, but still it creates a perception that they're horrible bikes. Yeah. And they really aren't.
Yeah, Jack, there's a comment there from Har2979. I don't know if you can grab that or not, but I have an older Harley, but I haven't always owned it, right? Here's somebody that has a motorcycle that's 17 years old, right? So
yeah, mine's a 2018, and you're right, Colin. I've never had that sumping problem and that bullshit. And you talk about Mike Killy 7. Here's the thing I can say about Mike, and he admitted it. He had an asshole mechanic work on it. He had somebody that didn't know what they were doing, ripped his whole entire engine apart, rebuilt it, and then it sucked because that guy shouldn't have. That guy was they hired him to change tires on the motorcycle, not rebuild engines. So I think that's what happened to Mike. But people say that, but you had a stage 3 kid in your bike. I've rode with you. Your bike is fine. I've never seen oil spots when we go in the parking lot in the morning. So I don't know where people come off that either, but you have to have a quality mechanic fix your bike.
Yeah. Jack, I think your point is right. Is get the right mechanic even at the Harley place, because because of Mike, I automatically think, oh, I'd never get a stage 4, right? But yet Colin has a stage 3 that's been great. His bike is awesome, right? Though I wouldn't do that, right? For me, at least on my bike. But
Jack, can you highlight Road Glide Andy's comment, please?
Where's he at?
He's up here.
He's in Pennsylvania.
He's up there about a street glide disc. You'll see it in a second. Hey, Road Glide. I'm just kidding, dude. I'll be the first to admit I've said this before. Road Glides ride better, especially on the highway. But I still think they're the ugliest things alive. And I love my Street Glide Special. And I'm sorry my 2 friends above me like that hideous fairing. But, I'll stick to mine.
Hey, Colin, you and I were texting earlier today or yesterday, and I told you, since I just did a video on the 5 things I love about the Road Glide, I did the 5 things I don't like. And one of them was that, right? Which is, you know what? It's come on, it's to a certain extent ugly, but it's your ugly kid. And once you love it, man, it's okay. It turns
Dude, it's a really ugly kid. I mean, like a steel bar with an ugly stick just got wing.
Yeah. Hey, dude.
It's honestly, I love that bike. I've rode the Road Glide before. I mean, I'm just joking around, but it's a great bike. It's just not my perfect style. You take away we redesigned that fairing a little bit, it might be a different story.
Yeah, if you made it look like an Indian Challenger, I think we have a win-win. That'll get the chat room going, right?
Hey, Jack, so I know we want to move on, but so why are you thinking of buying an Indian?
Because Mrs. HR wants one. So I found a long time in my life, If you want your wife, if your wife wants something, go buy it. Just buy it.
Wow.
But we're looking.
Wow.
But not only that, Bob, we took that Indian out. I told you guys a few weeks ago for a test ride. She went with me with no backrest, and she was petrified because she wants a backrest. But she goes, man, that's the smoothest motorcycle I've ever been on. You don't hear the clunk, clunk, clunk shifting. It was well balanced. It accelerated nicely. There was no vibration at all. That's what's pushing us towards the Indian brand for that particular bike, for the Indian vintage. Because I told you, Bob, I always looked at the Road King. I'm a Road King kind of guy, or a Heritage. I like the Heritage.
I like the Heritage too.
Yeah, I do like the Heritage, and I believe that the Indian vintage is kind of the best of both worlds because it's got the soft saddlebags and it's still got that Road King kind of headlight. And I know you like that. So, but yeah, as a second bike, I think it'd be wonderful to have it. And if she wants it, and that's one thing with the Royal Enfield, she goes, I'll never ride with you, little piece of shit, you know. And I was like, because she said that's a little putt, and she goes, it would be nice if you were 16 maybe and buying that little thing, but she said we need an engine. What's that?
How do you get that thing started? You trying to
crank it?
You got to crank it 3 times. Crank it 3 times. And then you
Hey Jack, I got to tell you a real quick story. When you were talking about the backrest with Mrs. HDR, so when I bought my Street Glide Special, I was at my house with it, and my sister and brother-in-law were there. And I wanted to go up and get some beer. And my sister says, I haven't rode in a long time. I'm like, yeah, hop on the bike, right? So she gets on the back of my Street Glide Special, and we get 2 miles down the road to get beer. And she gets off. She goes, I'm going to walk home. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, I feel like I'm going to fall off the back of the bike.
Yeah.
Really? So I rode a little easier on the way there. And I go into the dealership, and I said, hey, dude, I think I need a backrest for a Street Glide Special. He's like, yeah, you probably do. You have somebody ride on it? I said, yeah, I almost dropped my sister off on it, you know. And he's like, dude, you can't ride that bike without a backrest. You can't put somebody back there. So she's still that.
Why do you think I converted it to the Street Glide Ultra?
Yeah.
I mean,
if you don't have a backrest and you get on it, that person behind you is going for a ride.
She wanted the backrest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the best way to get rid of it.
And honest, that's the best thing I ever did, having the tour pack.
Yeah, you've been taking it off a lot?
I haven't taken it off one time.
You just
one time, like the second week I had it, and I've had that for about a year now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm getting a detachable one so I can have the stripped down look. And then I've left it on the entire time.
But not having a back, and I told Miss HR, if we didn't put a backrest on that Indian, then I would crack the throttle. It's the best way to get rid of a wife. Like if they're nagging you and they're bitching, you know, or something, just crack that throttle and throw them off. Make sure their life insurance is paid up and be like, I don't know. She just fell off. I mean, I
thought my Marilyn Monroe comment was bad with the dress.
And by the way, I'm texting your wife right now. You better get on the show.
Smyrna Cowboy, your wife finally rode with you. Amen. Praise everybody. Oh my God.
And he's got a great video up on it too.
This woman did not
like the video out today on the.
When Smyrna Cowboy had his big scooter, you know, she watched him do wheelies down the street. And I wouldn't ride with the guy either because he's a maniac. But now he has that beautiful Can-Am Spider, man. So there's no reason why she shouldn't ride with you. So absolutely wonderful.
I'm laughing at anonymous bikers comment.
What was it? Oh, this one. If you want your wife to be your ex-wife, don't buy a backrest.
Dude, you like how I'm trying to give you advice, but not make it sound like I'm giving you advice? So.
No, I said if you want to bury your wife, don't buy a backrest. Not an ex-wife. Ex-wife's going to cost you money. You can't never mind. I'll bring that up to another time to you.
Do you think Anonymous Biker has like a stand-up comedy and show it somewhere? So I think so. Andrew's in the house. Touring Midwest is here, so we got to be on good behavior now, guys.
Hey, Andrew, how are you, dude?
Who's Mrs. Hillbilly? Hillbelly? What's my motor? Oh my goodness! You guys in the side chat are a riot tonight. I can tell you that. What's Road Glide Andy saying here? Harley marketing changed after the electric glide and the street glide, and look what happened. Well, you know, and Colin, you're right. Everybody, man, you used to go to motorcycle rallies. Everybody had a street glide special. Everyone. That's the only bike you've seen, right? The Road Glide came out, and the guys are like, "That looks like a piece of garbage. Who wants that?"
You know what, Jack?
So
if it wasn't,
exactly what,
if it wasn't for you, be honest, and us starting to ride with our wives together, I still may have a street glide special.
Yeah, you may. You're right. I mean,
I'll be the first to admit, I was the minority when I was at the Ocean City with the Batwing.
Well, yeah, it shifted. It
shifted completely. Yeah, it was probably like every 7 out of 10 bikes were those.
Yeah, and I don't know where it shifted, but now people ride the road glide.
And I'm trying to not say anything negative about Collins Street Glide, because I usually will send him a meme about every 3 days about it. So
you do. It slowed down every 4 days, so I do appreciate that.
I can pick it up now that you mentioned it, because I got a lot backed up for you.
Well, here's the one thing I can tell you guys. Mrs. HR now calls my bike's name now is the Disco Ball. And I said, how's Colin's bike got 500,000 more lights than I have? He should be the Disco Ball. But yeah, she dubbed my bike the Disco Ball.
Jack, can I ask you a question when it comes to your wife? How is it that earlier you said that you're going to buy a bike because she likes an Indian, but you just talked about dropping her off the back of your bike? Is there a correlation there?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No. I said if your wife would get bitchy, then you could crack the throttle.
Oh.
Never mind. I'm just saying it could happen.
She scares you, doesn't she?
Oh.
Why do you think she wants to ride her own? Because then she's in control.
Yeah. Okay.
I know.
Just clarifying, buddy. Just clarifying.
How about that? All right. So we talked about going to Sturgis. We kicked this around. Bob, your video this morning was good with Mrs. Bodine. And I don't care how much you say. And Bob, you're one of those guys like, no, you care about your wife. She can't do this. She can't. She won't. She don't. She would love to ride with you to Sturgis, dude. I heard her saying, I loved that long ride. It was raining. I put a rain suit on. It was okay. It was cool. I did it. It was no big deal. So Donna has more self-confidence in her than you have in her. And, but I want to talk about this riding a little bit. And I know, Colin, you said Lori would have to fly or something because she won't ride with you. She don't like to ride with you a whole lot.
Not for 3 days.
What are our plans for 2022? People might want to know. What's that?
It's because Colin's gassy, and that's why she doesn't ride with him.
Yeah, he farts a lot on the bike. He does.
They're right.
And that's why when you ride behind Colin, he's usually about 14 car lengths ahead of you because he knows he's farting his ass off.
but he doesn't ride fast. So,
no. So I don't care who wants to take it first, but what are your thoughts? And I know we talked about going like out of.
We talked about going. We haven't solidified anything.
Another big word. Wait, solidified. Okay, good.
That was only.
How do you spell that?
Okay. It's a solid and it's got a phi in it. No, I mean we talked about it, but we haven't anything concrete yet. I mean, I definitely want to do it. I know Jackie, the only one I believe of the group that's been out there, but you went out there the week before,
2 weeks, before.
Not the week of or 2 weeks before because you didn't want to deal with all the crowds.
Right.
I definitely want to do it, but we have to probably solidify if we're going to go for 2022. I know for sure I'm trying to go down to Daytona in March.
Yep.
I'm definitely trying that, and then I got a couple other rides planned next year. But for the most part, we probably still need to, the three of us, talk about it. Unless, what do you think, Bob?
Yeah, you know what? I think going back, Jack, it's not confidence. It's protection, right? Because I saw her get off.
You're overprotective, Bob.
I saw her get off the bike, and she really has honestly no interest of going 350 miles or 300 miles a day for 3 days in a row. She just doesn't, right? I would love to do that because I think it would be awesome. And I think Ricky said it, just take 3 or 4 days, right? And take your time going out there. I think it's great. I'm okay either way, man. It's a road trip to me. So I think it would be kind of cool. But, you know, if it's sometimes, even though it's been a year now she had it. So those days she gets up and, you know, has to gain her balance to walk, those days you kind of go, okay, I'm not going to put her in that position, right? So, but I would love to do it. We should talk about it because I am going to Daytona Bike Week next year. So that's, you know, 2 big trips. If I'm going to do that, I just need to plan it. So I think it's great.
I've been talking to them at work too about when is Daytona? It's March.
It's in March, yeah.
Yeah, and I talked to them about taking 2 weeks off during the school year. So they kind of went, and I said, I can retire it now. And they're like, well, we can talk about it. So we'll see if I'll make it.
Do it remotely from your laptop or something.
Yeah, they don't want to lose a teacher, man. They're like, yeah, whatever, that's fine.
We'll be in the background drinking, making noises.
But Miss HR had a point too. She said, we're getting older now. When we did that Sturgis thing, it was 5 years ago. So look, even 5 years, how much your body changes. She said she don't care to go out to Sturgis on the bike, but she said, I'm sure me and Donna and Lori can meet up and we can fly out there and you guys just pick us up at the airport. I was like, well, there's a plan, right?
That's exactly what they would do. They'd fly out, pay an exorbitant amount for a rental car, and then spend the week, and then they'll probably go shopping.
Well, don't let them get a rental car, Colin. See, that's where you got to be a man and stand up and be like, you ain't getting a damn rental car. We're picking you up on the motorcycles. Put your shit on. We're going to the hotel.
Jack, 2 years ago when we went to Daytona, my neighbor invited me. I think you know this story, but
yeah.
Donna and his wife flew down there. Now, granted, there was snow on the ground, so that's fair, right?
Right.
I love my neighbor, especially having a beer with him once every 2 weeks. But when you're in the car with him for 16 hours over 2 days, and your wife says, "Hey, I've been home for 3 hours. Everything is great here," and you're in the car, and he will not stop talking, I might fly down there next year and send my bike. So, but I'm looking forward to. I think Windrow Therapy. The Badgers are here. They're going to be down there in the spring. I loved Daytona 2 years ago, so I know a lot of folks are just coming back now.
But you're trailering your bike down in March, right? I mean, you'd have to winter time here.
Yeah, probably. It depends on the weather.
Yeah.
So if the weather's good, I'll probably ride, but because I think I don't know. I think I can get down there in a couple days with Donna, but if not, then I'll have to trailer it down there. So.
Yeah, and I think to your thing, Colin, if they would even Uber from the airport to the hotel, how about that? That's cool. I mean, and there's no shopping in Sturgis, guys. Sturgis is made for men. There's no shopping. I mean, this is what you do at Sturgis. There's a lot of restaurants. You eat and you drink beer. That's what you do. So it's kind of like a gold mine for Al Bundy is what that is.
Do they have candle stores?
They have no candle stores. There's no there's no Bath Body Beyond Works. None of that.
Bath Body Beyond.
Bath Body Beyond. There's none of those stores, guys. So they just got to come and they just got to. We'll buy them vests that says property of, Bronco Rides, property of Bodine 52, and property of Mrs. HDR, because that's what I'd be wearing.
Dad, we go into, what was it, in Tennessee, the three of us, we go into, what was that place, the distillery?
Yes.
We're buying moonshine, everybody's getting stuff, and Lori buys candles.
She's buying candles.
Yeah, there were like candles that had like moonshine flavor on it.
We were talking about taking shots while we were in there, right? So.
Yeah, but when she was burning that back at the cabin, we got like so drunk just smelling it.
They did.
It was amazing. I don't know how that works, but
can we move on from the whole candle flashback?
Oh,
that was a little rough. Gnomes.
1800 guys.
Don't bring up the gnomes, Pete.
The gnomes,
guys. We went away we went to the Amish country for anniversary. You know what we came home with? A Christmas gnome. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Thank you.
Can you see the Halloween gnome in the corner behind me?
Oh, yes. I see it.
I see two of them. What's the big one?
Well, the big one's the Harley one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's okay.
To the left of me, I guess. And then the one in the corner in that wall, that's the Halloween one.
Hey, Colin, Rocky J says you can buy gnomes in Sturgis, so your wife's good to go. And by the way, Rocky, if we go, we're going to buy candles and gnomes. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but I think we're looking at talking about that a little bit more. We're looking at going out. Oh, shit. We're looking at going out. Would you say?
To realize the time?
Like a week before.
Yeah.
And then maybe going a couple days or one day to the rally somewhere.
Don't you find it interesting that we're going to talk about 3 or 4 things? I wonder if we're going to run out of time, and we never have enough time, right? So.
Hey, first, Andrew, Tory Midwest, good to hear about your hand, man. Looks like you're.
Yeah. He's back.
Comment on here that you're getting a little bit better.
Yeah, man, that's good to hear.
We never left your brother.
This one, last one, Colin did a video. It came out the other day, and It surprised me, Colin, actually. And then I watched $1 Million Bogan, which some people hate him, some people love him. I watched some stuff. I'm not like a religious follower of the guy, but he took a Pan America out. He said exactly the same thing you did. He goes, I had to take it and get knobby tires put on it to make it trail worthy. So if they're making an ADV bike for you to ride street and trail, why wouldn't they put knobby tires on it?
I think it all depends on the type of trail too. I think
okay, so go ahead and relay that.
I mean, I think if
it's written for you, so go ahead. Or this topic.
I mean, I think if it's first to answer some of the questions earlier that people asked, the bike is fine on the drops that I did in the river, which, Bob, to answer your question, was about 1.5 feet deep. And the reason I wrecked, because I didn't put this in the video, I didn't have the right mode on. So I actually had the wrong mode. And what happened is the traction control kicked in and basically stopped all my momentum. And then as soon as that happened, I fell right over. And but I actually, and then I fell into the water. Bike put the bike right back up, fired up, and no issues.
Hey,
so
Colin, that was the mode, because when I looked at the video at first when you sent it to us, I thought you let off the throttle.
Yeah, it looked like you just let the throttle.
The throttle, the tire, basically the throttle control kicked in.
Got it.
And then that's how it slowed down really quick. And I was like, oh my God. And then I fell right over because I realized that after I got back on, I was like, ooh, I had it in the wrong mode the whole time. And then after I got it in the right mode, which is off-road plus, night and day difference, which basically reduces a lot of traction control and reduces the ABS. You could turn it off completely, but it really made a huge difference. So to answer your question is, like, if you're on like just fire roads and gravel, the stock's fine. Once you start getting into ruts, anything wet, forget about it. You need the knobbies. Because I struggled, honestly. And I think I struggled more because I'm a new rider. I think a more experienced rider wouldn't have had as many issues as they did with the 80/20s that come with the bike. But if I'm ever going to do like a trip like that, where I know predominantly like 90% of my ride is going to be more off-road, I'd get knobbies. I would actually change it. The trade-off is you're going to get a lot less mileage off the 50/50s versus your stock, a lot less, and the ride's going to be definitely different.
What's a 50/50 tire, Colin? Is that
just softer? A lot more knobby? You know,
like softer. Is that why you get less?
Yeah,
miles?
It's just got like it grabs a lot more. Like you can see pictures of it. The Harley sells one. They sell one, but I mean, I'm not an expert on tires, but I definitely probably would not go with the Harley ones. Some of the people, God, what is it called? I think it's called the Anarchy, if I remember right. It's a different type of tire, so it's made for off road.
So, hey, Colin, let me ask you a question about the tires. So, I think it was Pete's 1800 just said that 90% of people, whether that's the right number or not, ride it on the street, right? You and I talked about this before, and it's probably right. So, what do you do? I mean, you have two sets of tires, or
I would have a friend that has a tire changing machine to help me out, which I do. Luckily, that lives local. That could actually help me change the tires if I'm planning on going on a trip. He's right. Probably 80%, 85% of my rides are going to be street. And those tires that come with it are perfectly fine. They're actually really solid. As soon as you get off road, though, and it's wet. If it's wet, forget it. I was done. And like the first day, it wasn't that wet. It was just like dew on some grass. But I was fishtailing all over the place. And I was struggling. And then the guys that had those tires weren't. They were doing a lot better. So they definitely grab more and they help. But dude, I've never had so much fun in my life doing that. I had an absolute blast, and I learned so much from riding with all those guys. They taught me so much just because there are a lot of experience in that group that I went with. So I was stoked how much I learned from them. I was very sore, I'll tell you that, but it's addictive. It's addictive. I had a blast doing all that.
And here's one thing I asked you in your comments, and sometimes when I comment, I don't, in other people's too videos, is I ask questions, and this is more me asking you, Colin, is do you think if you would have taken off the touring bags, it would have made your ride better? I mean, you're adding weight to that bike that you don't need to.
I mean, sure, it's going to be lighter. I mean, honestly,
left in the hotel, like just popped them off and left them in the hotel.
Well, little things I could have, but we were going. The problem is we were staying at two different hotels.
So where do you put the beer?
Yeah, we started at a place called Winchester, Virginia. We ended up with Cumberland, Maryland, which is western side of. I mean, that's closer to you, Jack. You're about what 2
Yeah.
hours from Cumberland?
Yeah, it's about 2 hours
from Pittsburgh. First, Paul, yes, they are tubeless. To answer your question, they are tubeless tires. But what I would do in the future, I'm gonna buy soft luggage. I was always against it.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing like touring, honestly, guys, in that Pan Am, you could tour just like a bagger.
Sure.
And it actually, and I did know this, it actually has more space than my tour pack. After I did all the measurements in my tour pack and my 2 saddlebags, I actually have more space with that luggage that came with that I have on the Pan Am. Not by much, but it does have more. But if I'm ever going off road, I'm getting soft, because if you wreck with the hard, you're going to damage them up. If you wreck hard, I mean, I dropped it and it didn't damage them at all. But that's some of the things I'm definitely going to do. Is get
And what? Go ahead, Bob.
Sorry about that, Jack, for stepping on
go
you.
ahead.
I think that Colin, 2 things. First of all, we all give each other crap all the time and joke around. But there's 2 things you've done in the last 2 months. One, you jumped out of an airplane, which makes me question your judgment, but you got kahunas, right? So God bless you. And I think your video that came out Friday night.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday I put it out.
Yeah. Really showed, you're a guy that went on a ride with a new bike with a lot of people that had more skill than you. And you went to learn, you went to have a good time, you went to, it wasn't one of those, everybody's probably going to be a better rider than me. Boy, I shouldn't go. You just kind of said, man, I can learn from this. Kudos to you, man. That's cool stuff. And it's a great video. People should check it out.
I appreciate that, dude. Thank you.
Hey, the last thing I wanted to know about that, Colin, you told us that there was a problem with the kickstand. Was that from it falling in the creek?
Oh, yeah. I didn't put that on the video. I originally did, but it was like a 25-minute video. I had to edit it down a little bit. So I did take out some parts. After it was about an hour before we were wrapping up the second day and we were going to do a couple more roads. And I went to and I think I know why this happened, because I pulled into a Sheetz, and I think it's the curse of the Sheetz, not a Wawa. But after I filled up, we were doing a little gas stop, the bike wouldn't fire up. So, and I had no idea. So I sent those guys, after like trying to troubleshoot it for like 10, 15 minutes, I sent the other 5-6 guys, and they went to meet another group. I dealt with like insurance. I decided I had to trailer it. I didn't know what the hell was wrong because it wouldn't start. And the reason it wouldn't start, like when you turn on the bike, there's a notification that says your kickstand is down, like side stand down. That didn't even come up. So I knew there was something wrong with the sensor. But all I did is I went in, I finally just said, screw it, I'm going to play around with it. I just unplugged it and replugged it back in, fired right up. So I don't know if it was just a connection issue that I hit something, but that's all it was. Pushed it in, no issue since.
Can we get clarification on one thing? And Jack, you and I have talked about this before. You asked the question of does it fall in the creek? So that's C-R-I-K
creek,
or is it C-R-E-A-K? Is it a creek or is it a creek?
Dude,
when I talk to people from Michigan, it's a stream. So that way you don't have to wonder. It's just a stream. It's not a river. It's a stream.
I think you and I rode together. We did like a whole video on this.
I know we did. I have to go back and find that video.
Pennsylvania call it cricks.
They call it cricks. Jack calls it crick.
Everybody else in the other lower 48 and Alaska call it creek.
That's because we have more
Pennsylvania.
We have a lot of cricks around here. We do.
You have a lot of creeks.
A lot of crooks?
No, there's no creeks in Pennsylvania. There's just not. They never built them. But
they're cricks.
All right, everybody. I'll let you go. Say your goodbyes. Bob, go ahead.
Hey, just, guys, this is fun. I know we're doing this every couple of weeks, and just appreciate, it's funny when you look through the live chat, there's so many of our friends that are in here that just really help the conversation along. This is continues to be fun, and thanks everybody for coming in. And again, Colin, awesome dude with the Pan America stuff. I know that stuff's a hit, but really cool that you went out and did that. So, and Jack, thanks for hosting tonight.
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate everybody in the side chat. As always, we appreciate you, and we'll be back in 2 weeks, correct?
I'm at that.
And it's going to be Mr. Bodine 52's channel.
Woo-hoo. Yes, thanks everybody once again in the side chat. You are the reason we do this. Without you, We would just test each other because we do that every night anyway. So we wouldn't need to include all you people that we don't know that we love so much. But thanks for joining us, and we'll see everybody in 2 weeks at Bodine 52's channel. We just said that. All right, we'll see you
didn't
guys.
text me good night last night, just so you know.
And hey, everybody, 8:00 prime time. Go Steelers. Watch them. They're going to win. All right, we'll see you. Night.
I just sent you a text. Good night.